Hello and welcome to Quiz Class. Today we have a huge trivia quiz for you, so I hope you enjoy it. Let's take a look at our Quiz Class awards, and here they are. Let us know how you rank in the comments at the end, along with the answer to the bonus question. So let's get ready. Which actor played the lead role in the 1954 film On the Waterfront? Montgomery Clift, Marlon Brando, or James Dean? Marlon Brando. Which pitcher threw the only perfect game in World Series history? Don Larson, Sandy Koufax, or Cy Young? Don Larson. Which U.S. city is known as the birthplace of jazz? Chicago, Memphis, or New Orleans? New Orleans. What was the name of the first commercially successful transistor radio? Zenith, Philco, or Regency? Regency TR1. Which actor played the title role in the 1950 film Cyrano de Bergerac? James Stewart, Alec Guinness, or Jose Ferrer? Jose Ferrer. Which famous mime performed Walking Against the Wind and The Cage? Buster Keaton, Marcel Marceau, or Charlie Chaplin? Marcel Marceau. Which actor played the lead role in the 1957 film The Bridge on the River Kwai? Alec Guinness, Jack Hawkins, or Sesu Hayakawa? Alec Guinness. What was the name of the first successful oral polio vaccine? Salk vaccine, OPV, or Cutter vaccine? OPV or Sabin vaccine. Which famous abstract artist painted Boardwalk Boogie Woogie? Joan Moreau, Kazimir Malevich, or Pierre Mondrian? Pierre Mondrian. What was the first successful non-stick cookware coating called? Calphalon, Teflon, or Ceramica? Teflon. Which famous children's author wrote Charlotte's Web? C.S. Lewis, L. Frank Baum, or E.B. White? E.B. White. Which famous ballet dancer defected from the Soviet Union to the West in 1961? Natalia Makarova, Alexander Godunov, or Rudolf Nureyev? Rudolf Nureyev. Which famous conductor led the New York Philharmonic from 1958 to 1969? George Solti, Herbert von Karajan, or Leonard Bernstein? Leonard Bernstein. What was the name of the first successful commercial videocassette recorder? U-matic, VHS, or Betamax? U-matic. What was the first successful antidepressant medication? Elavil, tofranil, or iproniziad? Iproniazid. Which famous photographer is known for his images of the American West and Yosemite National Park? Dorothea Lange, Ansel Adams, or Robert Capa? Ansel Adams. Which baseball player was known as the Splendid Splinter? Ted Williams, Stan Musial, or Mickey Mantle? Ted Williams. Which athlete is the only one to win gold medals in both the Summer and Winter Olympics? Eric Heiden, Shaun White, or Clara Hughes? Clara Hughes. Which ancient empire was known for its use of war elephants in battle? The Maurya Empire, the Ottoman Empire, or the Mongol Empire? The Maurya Empire. Who discovered the theory of electromagnetic induction, forming the basis for electric generators? James Clerk Maxwell, Michael Faraday, or Nikola Tesla? Michael Faraday. Which MLB player holds the record for most career stolen bases? Rickey Henderson, Ty Cobb, or Lou Brock? Rickey Henderson. What is the term for a language that develops as a form of communication between two groups? Creole, slang, or pidgin? Pidgin. What was the primary goal of the Marshall Plan after World War II? To provide economic aid to Europe, to rebuild Japan, or to establish NATO? To provide economic aid to Europe. Which artist painted The Night Watch, a masterpiece of Baroque art? Johannes Vermeer, Rembrandt, or Peter Bruegel? Rembrandt. Which tennis player has won the most Grand Slam singles titles? Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, or Novak Djokovic? Novak Djokovic. What is the name of the technology that allows for precise gene editing? Gene therapy, CRISPR, or RNA interference? CRISPR. Which art movement was characterized by distorted forms and bold colors? Expressionism, Neoclassicism, or Impressionism? Expressionism. In Buddhism, what is the term for the state of liberation from suffering? Dharma, nirvana, or karma? Nirvana. Which U.S. Supreme Court case established the principle of judicial review? Brown versus Board of Education, Plessy versus Ferguson, or Marbury versus Madison? Marbury versus Madison. What was the name of the peace treaty that ended World War I? Treaty of Trianon, Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, or the Treaty of Versailles? The Treaty of Versailles. In Islam, what is the name of the holy book? Torah, Quran, or Bible? The Quran. Which author wrote 100 Years of Solitude? Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Mario Vargas Llosa, or Julio Cortázar? Gabriel Garcia Marquez. What is the name of the largest known asteroid in the solar system? Vesta, Ceres, or Hygeia? Ceres. Which ancient wonder was located in present-day Turkey? The Temple of Artemis, the Colossus, of Rhodes, or the Lighthouse of Alexandria? The Temple of Artemis. Which philosophical movement emphasized reason and individualism? Enlightenment, existentialism, or postmodernism? Enlightenment. In Hinduism, what is the concept of the eternal cycle of birth, death, and rebirth? Moksha, karma, or samsara? Samsara. Which NBA player holds the record for most points scored in a single game? Kobe Bryant, Wilt Chamberlain, or LeBron James? Wilt Chamberlain. What was the name of the U.S. foreign policy aimed at containing communism? The Truman Doctrine, Monroe Doctrine, or the Marshall Plan? The Truman Doctrine. Which empire was ruled by Genghis Khan and his descendants? The Ottoman Empire, the Persian Empire, or the Mongol Empire? The Mongol Empire. What is the name of the theory proposing that the universe is expanding? String theory, Big Bang theory, or steady state theory? The Big Bang theory. In Judaism, what is the weekly day of rest and worship? Friday, Sabbath, or Passover? Sabbath. What is the name of the deepest known cave system in the world? Krubera Cave, Mammoth Cave, or Veriovkina Cave? Veryovkina Cave. Which technology allows for secure, decentralized record keeping? Blockchain, virtual reality, or cloud computing? Blockchain. Which Olympic athlete has won the most gold medals in history? Usain Bolt, Carl Lewis, or Michael Phelps? Michael Phelps. What was the significance of the Dred Scott decision in U.S. history? Ended slavery, ruled African American were not citizens, or women the right to vote? Ruled African Americans were not citizens. Which ancient civilization built the Terracotta Army? The Mongol Empire, Qin Dynasty, or the Greeks? Qin Dynasty. What is the name of the particle discovered at CERN in 2012, confirming the Standard Model? Higgs boson, graviton, or tachyon? Higgs boson. Which art movement was characterized by dreamlike or incongruous images? Surrealism, Impressionism, or Cubism? Surrealism. In Sikhism, what is the name of the Holy Scripture? Vedas, Guru Granth Sahib, or the Bible? Guru Granth Sahib. Question 50. What is the name of the largest known cave chamber in the world? Sarawak Chamber, Sun Dong Cave, or Mammoth Cave? Sarawak Chamber. What was the primary purpose of the Homestead Act of 1862? To regulate banking, to encourage Western settlement, or to end slavery? To encourage Western settlement. Which empire was known for building aqueducts and roads across Europe? The Mongol Empire, Ottoman Empire, or Roman Empire? The Roman Empire. In Taoism, what is the concept of the fundamental force that flows through all things? Karma, Qi, or Nirvana? Qi. Who wrote the epic poem Paradise Lost? John Milton, Geoffrey Chaucer, or William Wordsworth? John Milton. Which tennis player is known as the King of Clay? Novak Djokovic, Pete Sampras, or Rafael Nadal? Rafael Nadal. What is the name of the theory that explains the formation of the moon? Co-formation theory, giant impact hypothesis, or fission theory? Giant impact hypothesis. In Zoroastrianism, what is the name of the supreme creator god? Ahura Mazda, Brahma, or Zeus? Ahura Mazda. What is the term for a word that has the same spelling as another but different meaning and pronunciation? Homophone, antonym, or heteronym? Heteronym. What is the name of the theoretical bridge between quantum mechanics and general relativity? Quantum gravity, M theory, or string theory? Quantum gravity. In Buddhism, what are the Four Noble Truths primarily concerned with? Path to enlightenment, nature of suffering and its cessation, or cycle of rebirth? Nature of suffering and its cessation. What is the name of the largest known submarine canyon? Monterey Canyon, Hudson Canyon, or Zemchug Canyon? Zemchug Canyon. Which technology allows for the creation of three-dimensional objects from digital files? Augmented reality, 3D printing, or holography? 3D printing. What was the primary purpose of the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882? To prohibit Chinese labor immigration, to establish trade with China, or to promote Chinese immigration? To prohibit Chinese labor immigration. Which NFL quarterback has won the most Super Bowl rings? Peyton Manning, Terry Bradshaw, or Tom Brady? Tom Brady. What was the primary goal of the Freedmen's Bureau established after the Civil War? To organize the military, to assist former slaves and poor whites, or to collect taxes? To assist former slaves and poor whites. What is the name of the theory proposing that the universe is composed of tiny, vibrating strings? General relativity, quantum mechanics, or string theory? String theory. Which art movement was characterized by the use of geometric shapes and primary colors? De Stijl, Fauvism, or Romanticism? De Stijl. In Islam, what is the name of the annual pilgrimage to Mecca? Eid, Hajj, or Zakat? Hajj. In Hinduism, who is considered the preserver god in the Trimurti? Vishnu, Shiva, or Brahma? Vishnu. What is the name of the largest known volcano in the solar system? Krakatoa, Mauna Loa, or Olympus Mons? Olympus Mons. Which art movement was characterized by the use of optical illusions? Op art, Dadaism, or Surrealism? Op art. In Shinto, what is the term for the spirits or phenomena that are worshipped? Karma, kami, or chi? Kami. What is the name of the largest known underground river system? Puerto Princesa Underground River, San Duan Cave, or Sistema Sac Octon? Puerto Princesa Underground River. Which empire was known for its extensive use of terrace farming? The Aztec Empire, Roman Empire, or Inca Empire? The Inca Empire. In Buddhism, what is the term for the state of perfect peace and happiness? Nirvana, samsara, or karma? Nirvana. Who wrote the epic poem The Odyssey? Virgil, Ovid, or Homer? Homer. What is the name of the largest known asteroid in the Kuiper Belt? Makemake, Pluto, or Eris? Pluto. What was the primary purpose of the Glass-Steagall Act of 1933? To separate commercial and investment banking, to establish the Federal Reserve, or to regulate the stock market? To separate commercial and investment banking. Which artist movement was characterized by the use of everyday objects in art? Romanticism, Expressionism, or Dadaism? Dadaism. In Taoism, what is the concept of action through inaction? Dharma, Wu Wei, or Ren? Wu Wei. What is the term for a word that is derived from a person's name? Eponym, patronym, or toponym? Eponym. Which track and field athlete broke the long jump world record at the 1968 Olympics? Mike Powell, Bob Beamon, or Jesse Owens? Bob Beamon. What was the primary goal of the Voting Rights Act of 1965? To prohibit racial discrimination, to lower the voting age, or to establish the Electoral College? To prohibit racial discrimination. In Islam, what is the term for the religious duty of giving to those in need? Sawm, Hajj, or Zakat? Zakat. What is the name of the largest known impact crater on Mars? Hellas Planitia, Jezero Crater, or Argyre Planitia? Hellas Planitia. Which technology allows for the creation of self-driving cars? Bluetooth, GPS, or machine learning? Machine learning. Which ancient civilization developed the first known system of writing in the Americas? Maya, Aztec, or Olmec? Olmec. Which ancient civilization created the Rosetta Stone? Persians, Egyptians, or Greeks? The Egyptians. In Sikhism, what is a term for the community of initiated Sikhs? Guru, Gurdwara, or Khalsa? Khalsa. Who developed the first successful blood transfusion technique? Charles Drew, William Harvey, or Karl Landsteiner? Karl Landsteiner. Which empire was known for its extensive use of the decimal system and the concept of zero? The Persian Empire, Gupta Empire, or Roman Empire? The Gupta Empire. In Zoroastrianism, what is the name of the evil spirit opposing Ahura Mazda? Satan, Mara, or Angra Mainyu? Angra Mainyu. What is the name of the largest known volcano on Venus? Mauna Loa, Mount Mons, or Olympus Mons? Mount Mons. Which tennis player has won the most consecutive matches? Steffi Graf, Novak Djokovic, or Martina Navratilova? Martina Navratilova. What is the name of the technology that allows for secure, decentralized data storage? Blockchain, edge computing, or cloud computing? Blockchain. In Jainism, what is the term for the principle of nonviolence towards all living beings? Moksha, Dharma, or Ahimsa? Ahimsa. Which female athlete has won the most Olympic medals? Brigitte Fischer, Allyson Felix, or Larissa Latinina? Larissa Latinina. What was the primary goal of the Pure Food and Drug Act of 1906? To implement food stamps, to regulate alcohol consumption, or to prevent the sale of misbranded food? To prevent the sale of misbranded food. Which ancient civilization built the city of Carthage? The Romans, Etruscans, or Phoenicians? Phoenicians. Question 100. Which artist is known for creating the painting Girl with a Pearl Earring? Jan van Eyck, Johannes Vermeer, or Frans Hals? Johannes Vermeer. In Hinduism, what is the term for the cycle of death and rebirth? Dharma, moksha, or samsara? Samsara. Which sustainable innovation uses floats mounted on a pier to generate electricity? Echo wave power, hydroelectric dams, or tidal barrages? Echo wave power. What is the term for the belief in the divinity of non-human beings like animals and plants? Monotheism, animism, or polytheism? Animism. Which religion is based on the teachings of Confucius? Confucianism, Buddhism, or Shintoism? Confucianism. Which company has developed an urban green space index using machine learning? Microsoft, IBM, or Husqvarna Intellian? Husqvarna Intellian. In Islam, what is a term for the 5 fundamental beliefs and practices? The 5 pillars, Hajj, or Salat? The 5 pillars. Which artist's work, Campbell's Soup Cans, became an iconic representation of pop art? Andy Warhol, Roy Lichtenstein, or David Hockney? Andy Warhol. What is the name of the undeciphered manuscript dated to the 15th century? Rahanic Codex, Festos Disc, or Voynich manuscript? Voynich manuscript. Voynich, I believe. Voynich. Which country hosts the annual holy festival known as the Festival of Colors? Brazil, India, or Japan? India. What is the name of the artificial tree designed to absorb CO2 from the air? City tree, ecosphere, or green machine? City tree. Which fictional character created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle is known for his deductive reasoning? Philip Marlowe, Sherlock Holmes, or Miss Marple? Sherlock Holmes. What ancient civilization built Göbekli Tepe, considered the world's oldest known temple? The Hittites, Sumerians, or unknown? Unknown. In which country is the Day of the Dead primarily celebrated? Mexico, Argentina, or Spain? They say Dia de los Muertos. Mexico. What is the sacred text of Sikhism called? Vedas, Guru Granth Sahib, or Tripitaka? Guru Granth Sahib. Which company has developed a process to turn carbon dioxide into stone? Carbfix, Global Thermostat, or Climeworks? Carbfix. What is the name of the Greek device discovered in 1901 that is the world's first analog computer? Archimedes' sphere, Antikythera mechanism, or Hellenistic calculator? The Antikythera mechanism. Who is considered the father of artificial intelligence? John McCarthy, Marvin Minsky, or Norbert Wiener? John McCarthy. Which city hosts the world's largest carnival celebration? Rio de Janeiro, Venice, or Cologne? Rio de Janeiro. In Hinduism, what is the term for the cycle of death and rebirth? Moksha, karma, or samsara? Samsara. Which band's album cover for Abbey Road became an iconic image often imitated and parodied? Pink Floyd, The Beatles, or Led Zeppelin? The Beatles. What is the name of the 15th century English king whose remains were found under a parking lot? Richard III, Edward IV, or Henry VI? Richard III. Which country hosts the Oktoberfest, the world's largest beer festival? Austria, Belgium, or Germany? Germany. In Islam, what is the term for the pilgrimage to Mecca that every able Muslim should make at least once? Hajj, Zakat, or Eid? Hajj. Which company has developed a process to create leather from mushroom mycelium? Bolt Threads, Ecovative, or MycoWorks? MycoWorks. What is the name of the 9th century Chinese ship that reached America before Columbus? Zhufu's ship, Ming Dynasty explorer, or Song Dynasty ship? Zhufu's ship. Who is credited with inventing the first computer program? Alan Turing, Charles Babbage, or Ada Lovelace? Ada Lovelace. Which country hosts the Burning Man Festival? The United States, the United Kingdom, or Canada? The United States. In Taoism, what is the concept of the fundamental force that flows through all things? Wu Wei, Te, or Qi? Chi. Which company developed a technology to create edible water bubbles as an alternative to plastic? Notpla, Aquasphere, or Uoho? Notpla. What is the name of the ancient city in Turkey that was abandoned around 1100 BCE? Ephesus, Pergamon, or Hattusa? Hattusa. Which country hosts the Songkran Water Festival to celebrate the new year? Thailand, Cambodia, or Laos? Thailand. Which company developed a process to turn plastic waste into roads? Eco Road, Macrobur, or Dow Chemical? Macrobur or Macrobur. What is the name of the ancient Mesoamerican city that was suddenly abandoned around 750 CE? Teotihuacan, Chichen Itza, or Tenochtitlan? Teotihuacan. Which city hosts the world's largest tomato fight, La Tomatina? Barcelona, Naples, or Buñol? Buñol. In Hinduism, who is known as the destroyer in the Trimurti? Shiva, Vishnu, or Brahma? Shiva. What is the name of the undeciphered writing system used by the ancient Indus Valley civilization? Rongo Rongo, Indus Script, or Linear A? Indus Script. Which country hosts the Harbin International Ice and Snow Sculpture Festival? Canada, China, or Norway? China. In Buddhism, what is the term for the Four Noble Truths? Arya Satya, Bodhi, or Karma? Arya Satya. Who composed the Ode to Joy, part of his Ninth Symphony? Johann Sebastian Bach, Franz Schubert, or Ludwig van Beethoven? And Beethoven is the answer. We are at question 140. Which country hosts the Carnival of Venice, known for its elaborate masks? Italy, France, or Spain? Italy. Which country hosts the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta? Germany, United States, or Australia? The United States. Which philosopher introduced the concept of the Übermensch, or Superman? Friedrich Nietzsche, Immanuel Kant, or Soren Kierkegaard? Friedrich Nietzsche. Which medical breakthrough allowed for the first successful organ transplant? Anesthesia, blood typing, or immunosuppressant drugs? Immunosuppressant drugs. What architectural style is characterized by pointed arches and ribbed vaults? Gothic, Romanesque, or Renaissance? Gothic. Which festival in Spain features the running of the bulls? Feria de Abril, Las Fallas, or San Fermin? San Fermin. In Hinduism, what is the concept of ultimate reality or universal soul? Brahman, karma, or dharma? Brahman. What economic theory suggests that government spending can stimulate economic growth? Monetarism, Austrian school, or Keynesian economics? Keynesian economics. And you can take a breather here. And we are at question 148. Which medical innovation uses a patient's own cells to fight cancer? Immunotherapy, CAR T-cell therapy, or radiation therapy? CAR T-cell therapy. What is the name of the twisting skyscraper in Dubai designed by Santiago Calatrava? Cayenne Tower, the Burj Al Arab, or Dubai Frame? The Cayenne Tower. Which Japanese festival celebrates the viewing of cherry blossoms? Tanabata, Hanami, or Obon? Hanami. In Islam, what is the name of the mystical branch focused on inner spiritual practices? Sufism, Wahhabism, or Shia? Sufism. Which philosopher proposed the concept of the social contract? John Stuart Mill, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, or Thomas Hobbes? Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Which medical breakthrough allowed for the eradication of smallpox? Vaccination, gene therapy, or antibiotics? Vaccination. What architectural style is characterized by clean lines and minimal ornamentation? Art Nouveau, Beaux Arts, or Bauhaus? Bauhaus. Which festival in India is known as the Festival of Colors? Holi, Navaratri, or Pongal? Navaratri, excuse me. The second one is Navaratri. Holi is the answer. Which medical innovation allows for non-invasive visualization of internal body structures? Electrocardiogram, stethoscope, or the magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI? The MRI. Which festival in Brazil features elaborate parades and samba dancing? Carnival, Bamba Meu Boi, or Festa Junina? Carnival. In Taoism, what is the concept of action through inaction? Yin and Yang, Qi, or Wu Wei? Wu Wei. Who proposed the philosophical concept of the allegory of the cave? Socrates, Plato, or Aristotle? Plato. What architectural style is characterized by the use of steel and glass in large minimalist structures? International style, brutalism, or postmodernism? International style. Which festival in Thailand involves launching sky lanterns? Loi Krathong, Yi Peng, or Songkran? Yi Peng. In Sikhism, what is the term for the community of initiated Sikhs? Khalsa, Langar, or Gurdwara? Khalsa. Which medical breakthrough allowed for the first successful human-to-human heart transplant? Artificial heart, cyclosporine, or pacemaker? Cyclosporine. Which festival in Mexico honors deceased ancestors with elaborate altars? Dia de los Muertos, Las Posadas, or Guelaguetza? Dia de los Muertos. In Zoroastrianism, what is the name of the evil spirit opposing Ahura Mazda? Mara, Iblis, or Angra Mainyu? Angra Mainyu. Who proposed the philosophical concept of the invisible hand in economics? Karl Marx, Adam Smith, or Milton Friedman? Adam Smith. Which medical innovation uses sound waves to create images of internal body structures? MRI, X-ray, or ultrasound? Ultrasound. What is the name of the ancient Cambodian temple complex known for its massive stone faces? Bayon, Angkor Wat, or Ta Prohm? Bayon. Which festival in India celebrates the victory of light over darkness? Holi, Diwali, or Durga Puja? Diwali. In Christianity, what is the term for the belief in one God in three persons? Trinity, monotheism, or incarnation? Trinity. Which medical breakthrough allowed for the first successful gene therapy treatment? RNA interference, CRISPR, or retroviral vector? Retroviral vector. Which festival in Spain features tomato throwing? San Fermín, La Tomatina, or Feria de Abril? La Tomatina. In Islam, what is the term for the mystical dimension focused on direct experience of the divine? Sufism, fiqh, or Sharia? Sufism. What is the name of the ancient Mayan pyramid in Mexico known for its acoustic properties? Chichen Itza, El Castillo, or Tikal? El Castillo. Which festival in Japan celebrates the viewing of autumn foliage? Momi-jigari, Tanabata, or Obon? Momi-jigari. What architectural style is characterized by the use of cast iron and plate glass? Gothic Revival, Art Deco, or Crystal Palace style? Crystal Palace style. Which festival in Thailand involves water fights and cleansing rituals? Gi Pang, Songkran, or Loi Krathong? Songkran. Which breakthrough allowed for the first successful xenotransplantation of a pig heart into a human? Stem cell therapy, CRISPR gene editing, or alpha-gal knockout? Alpha-gal knockout. Which festival in Scotland celebrates poetry, haggis, and whiskey? Edinburgh Fringe, Burns Night, or Hogmanay? Burns Night. Which medical innovation uses focused ultrasound waves to treat brain disorders non-invasively? High-intensity focused ultrasound, gamma knife radiosurgery, or deep brain stimulation? High-intensity focused ultrasound. What is the name of the ancient Petra structure carved directly into a rock surface? The Pantheon, the Great Temple, or the Treasury? The Treasury. Which festival in Brazil honors a folklore character with bull-shaped costumes? Festa Junina, Bamba Moi Boi, or Cirio de Nazaré? Bamba Moi Boi. In Sikhism, what is the term for the community kitchen that serves free meals? Langar, Gurdwara, or Khalsa? Langar. Which philosopher proposed the concept of the social construction of reality? Jürgen Habermas, Jacques Derrida, or Peter L. Berger? Peter L. Berger. Which medical breakthrough allowed for the first successful creation of artificial blood? hemoglobin-based oxygen carriers, nanotechnology, or stem cell research? Hemoglobin-based oxygen carriers. Which festival in Spain features human tower building competitions? Feria de Abril, Concurs de Castells, or La Tomatina? Concurs de Castells. What economic theory suggests that inflation and unemployment have a stable inverse relationship? Phillips curve, Kuznets curve, or Lorenz curve? Phillips curve. Which medical innovation uses a patient's own cells to create personalized cancer vaccines? Oncolytic viruses, neoantigen vaccines, or checkpoint inhibitors? Neoantigen vaccines. Which festival in Japan features elaborate float parades and traditional music? Setsuban, Obon, or Gion Matsuri? Gion Matsuri. In Zoroastrianism, what is the name of the sacred fire that is kept perpetually burning? Hestia, Atar, or Vesta? Atar. Which philosopher introduced the concept of the dialectic, as a method of argument? Hegel, Kant, or Marx? Hegel. What architectural style is characterized by the use of classical elements in innovative ways? Rococo, Gothic Revival, or Neoclassicism? Neoclassicism. And take a breather here. Which festival in India celebrates the arrival of spring with colored powders and water? Diwali, Holi, or Navaratri? Holi. In Buddhism, what is the term for the Noble Eightfold Path? Magga, Samsara, or Karma? Magga. Which philosopher proposed the concept of the simulacrum in postmodern theory? Michel Foucault, Gilles Deleuze, or Jean Baudrillard? Jean Baudrillard. Which festival in Venice features elaborate masks and costumes? Festa della Senza, the Carnival of Venice, or Regatta Storica? The Carnival of Venice. In Hinduism, what is the term for the ultimate reality or cosmic principle? Brahman, Karma, or Dharma? Brahman. Which medical innovation uses light-sensitive proteins to control neural activity? Deep brain stimulation, neurofeedback, or optogenetics? Optogenetics. What is the name of the ancient Mayan city known for its well-preserved murals and vibrant blue pigment? Bonampak, Palenque, or Copan? Bonampak. What architectural style is characterized by the intentional fragmentation and distortion of forms? Postmodernism, deconstructivism, or parametricism? Deconstructivism. And for our bonus question, in Buddhism, what is the term for the cycle of cause and effect that shapes a person's destiny? Let us know the answer in the comments. And of course, how well you did with this huge quiz. Here are our quiz class Einstein rewards. Let us know how you ranked. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.